This car you see before you is the Orica LMP2, and it is one of the many different types of cars that are in the Le Mans Ultimate game. It is probably known as the most difficult to drive, as the following reasons. As it's so tricky during braking, and I decided to just join a race with absolutely zero practice. I mean, I don't think it can get much harder than that, to be honest. So you're heading into qualifying. This is the first time I've ever touched this track on the game. It's not the first time I've driven this car, but this is a very high speed track. So as you can see, I'm taking it so carefully on the cold tyres. So this is a top split race, but it's going to be pretty competitive at the front. I'm just going to look for a decent finish, as I want to get safety rating, so that way I can get gold rating, so I can do some hypercar races. So as you see, this is one of my qualifying laps. I've taken it so carefully in the first turn and even the second turn. So yeah, that was my last lap. It wasn't a great lap. P18, which eventually turned to P19 because someone finished their lap much faster. But I can't really complain too much, to be honest, because I have done zero practice and I was still ahead of a few cars. So looking just for a good start. Because like the main issue with this car is the braking. If you lock the car, the rears just lock instantly and you just spin out. So for that reason, I want to hold the inside so that way I don't get taken out. As you can see ahead, that exactly happens to a bunch of other people. A car just brakes too late, rear ends another car and takes out like 10 other drivers. So I've gained, what is that, 7 positions off the start by literally just going on the inside. So yeah. Now here I want to take it very carefully because there probably will still be more drama as the race start. There's always loads of the contact. So for now, I just need to find my rhythm. And ideally, I don't want to lose any more places because obviously there's just so many cars behind. So I do need to pick up the pace a little bit. So you can see ahead, there's another car just there that looks a little bit different, and that's because that's an LMP3 car. The reason why there's an LMP3 car is because this is a multi-class race. And the difference between an LMP2 car and an LMP3 car is mainly just horsepower and downforce. So I should be able to overtake them easily, but you got to be very careful when overtaking them, because obviously they're a lot slower. So usually you should assume that they're going to take the racing line and just overtake them off the racing line. Apart from that guy there just swerves into my line, but luckily I was paying attention, so I managed to just avoid him. Yeah, you just got to be very careful with overtaking slower cars, because sometimes they can do things that are just unexpected, and then you crash out and then that's your race gone. Later on the same lap, as you see, there's two cars ahead that are fighting very closely for the triple right-hander, going side by side for a bit of it. And unfortunately, I think it looks like one of them has a bit of damage. As heading into the final corner, yeah, he does just kind of, I don't know if he goes to equal purpose or that's just a broken suspension issue. But yeah, if you look in the mirrors, he does just dive straight into the pits, because yeah, this car's probably close. This guy Kelter behind, who is about 3 laps down, is now behind me, and he is a pretty fast guy because obviously he was a few seconds behind earlier. Now he's caught up to me. Obviously traffic didn't help, but again, hopefully he doesn't do anything too stupid. But I know sometimes lapped cars tend to want to unlap themselves and do it very stupidly. But then I did think because he's faster, maybe it would be better to just let him go, because I don't want any contact. I don't mind finishing P11 right now, to be honest, because I think I'd probably actually gain ranked rating, but I mainly care about safety rating. Heading up to here, there is a car on the lead lap, which means that is a free position for me, and he just pulls over to the side of the road. I think because he had damage, and he was actually leading the race. So that's got to be a bit tough for him, but free position for me. I'm now P10, so I'll take that. So a few laps later, me and Kelter have caught P8 and P9 as they're going for a pretty tough battle ahead. So I'm kind of hoping to just stay behind. I don't want to make it 3 wide, because that's just asking for the race ending damage. But as you can see here, Kelter just decides to jump out the way because he knows that it's not really his fight because he's 3 laps down, which I can respect a lot. He's pretty nice for doing that. So yeah, that would just make it a clear fight for me and the guys ahead. But I do decide to back out going into this double right-hander because, yeah, I end up rear-ending this guy, and I kind of just realised in that moment I don't really want to have a risk of a crash, so yeah, I just kind of let him go through. But I didn't realise how close P11 was, so now he's right behind me. As P8 and P9 both just spin out. I think it was probably because of a little bit of contact. But yeah, now they're both 6 seconds behind with pretty bad tyres that are overheated, probably have a massive flat spot on them. So great news for me. And this is also the last lap. So maybe I can get P7 here if I can stay with the blue car ahead. Now if you look in the relative on the top left, P6 suddenly just starts losing a load of time. But unfortunately, he still stays about 6 seconds ahead, so it doesn't really mean anything for me. But then, P5 also has an incident which now makes him 5 seconds ahead as well. Which means P5 and P6, on the final few corners of the race, are separated by like 2 tenths, heading into some of the most tricky and fastest corners on this track. Maybe something magical can happen here, but I'm going to hold my breath because it's not very likely. They are still 5 seconds ahead. They're pretty much finishing the race as this is going on. Even those 2 cars ahead aren't P5 and P6, they're like back markers, so they're nothing. But if you can look ahead, there's a blue car stopped on the track, and this causes a bit of trouble as another LMP2 spins out. Now if you look at the top of my screen, you can see that yellow flag icon. So let's play a little guessing game. What should you do when you see a yellow flag? Should you lift and be careful like a smart person because there's loads of danger, there's risk, why would you want to ruin your race? Or B, full send it because yellow flags mean free positions. Yeah, I picked B.
Oh my days. Oh my days.
So yeah, just like that, last corner on the last lap, 3 positions just gained just like that. I mean, I was pretty happy with that. I gained actually a fair bit of driver rank from that, and a lot of safety rank, probably like a third of a level. So yeah, that was a really good race. I was actually very happy with that.